You're watching Late Night with KNWT, filmed on the campus of Northwest Missouri State University. And here's your host, Tru Bilharz.
Welcome back to Late Night with KNWT. I'm your host, Tru Bilharz, and let's get right into this week's shows. First up, we have Bearcat Update, the show that brings you everything you need to know about Bearcat athletics here on campus. Last week was a big week for the Bearcats. It was the 100th homecoming game against the UCM Mules. Host Jason Holland gave us a quick recap on the game, took a look at Northwest volleyball team, caught up with Bearcat cheer, and so much more. Then, Wiley Ray and Jackson Phelps from KZLX took a close look at this week's game and talk football going forward. You can catch Bearcat Update live every Sunday at 1 o'clock. Let's take a look now.
And just to kind of kick things off, to me, the best thing is the hiring of Matt Keeley. A lot of people don't know the history of Matt Keeley and, you know, his prior position. His college did not have a sports team or, a basketball team. Right. And he built that from the ground up. And so a lot of people sit there, maybe look at that record, maybe look at, his tenure there, and they think, hey, this isn't that strong of a team. But they need to realize that he built it from the ground up and built them in a good spot today.
Next, we have everyone's favorite show for random facts and info. Now you know. Last week, host Al Snodderly took us on a trip down memory lane with some bowling history. Porter Williams told us how to play the game and how bowling keeps score. And finally, Katie Board took us around Revolution's lanes in St. Joe with an employee to get a look at how a bowling alley actually functions. We also saw some clips of the Now You Know crew having some fun and taking a break to bowl it out. You can catch Now You Know Wednesdays at noon, so don't forget to check them out. Well, let's check them out now.
Welcome back to Now You Know, your spot to learn anything about everything. I'm your host, Porter Williams.
What are you doing? Get out. Sorry about that, interns. My producers thought I would benefit from having a little assistance. Anyways, greetings friends and welcome to Now You Know, your spot to learn anything about everything. I'm your host, Alexander Snodderly, and on this episode, we're taking a look at bowling, a game that's been played for centuries.
Last but not least, we have Gen 2, your go-to show for everything video games and tech related. Last week, we took a look at upcoming video games, Worshippers of Cthulhu, Sulfur, and SpaceX's new booster rocket launch. We also took trips over to Kirby's Content Corner and Aaron's Reality, where they talked about Battlefield 1 and the game I Expect You to Die. You can catch Gen 2 every Tuesday at noon for all your favorite gaming content. But without further ado, let's take a look at the show this week.
Now on to our tech news.
SpaceX has made history with their Starship rocket test.
On October 13th, SpaceX launched their 400-foot Starship booster rocket from their launch facility near the southern tip of Texas.
This was the 5th test in the series of Starship boosters, with the previous 4 failing either by blowing up or ditching into the ocean.
This test made history though, as the unloaded rocket successfully launched and detached its payload, then successfully returned 7 minutes later, being caught by a massive tower labeled the Chopsticks.
This marks history. A booster rocket of this size and magnitude has never not blown up or lost control and ditched into the ocean. This marks a major event in spaceflight technology.
When we come back after our commercial break, we will have Porter Williams here in the studio to discuss his time in KNWT and his role this semester on Loosely Related.
Creative Services has been lurking in the shadows of student media, giving insight into the hard work behind every mass media student's contribution. We are creating national award-winning commercials promoting KNWT. We animate, navigate, and collaborate to display all of the unseen corners of our media outlets. Our mission is dedicated to showing off KNWT and our great work like never before.
Welcome back to KNWT Live. I'm your host, Tru Bilharz, and I have a super special guest here with me today. I have Porter Williams. How you doing, Porter?
I'm doing great, and as this is recording, I just want to say happy birthday, Tru.
Oh, gee. Thank you, gee.
Of course.
All right, well, I have some questions for you, okay?
Hit me with it.
Yeah, so you are a part of KNWT. Tell me how things have gone, the things that you've worked on.
Oh, wow. So, well, I'm not the oldest in age. I am probably the most tenured at this point for KNWT. So I started my freshman year where I made a pack for Nerd Central. We had that. I talked about voice acting. It was called In the Booth. And then eventually from there, I started producing Nerd Central, and I did that for a whole year. And then moving from that, I made a original show called Soulful and Saloons. It was the first D&D show we had, and sort of a predecessor to the, admittedly, as I'll say myself, much better Tales of the Dice Roll. I think those guys are doing a fantastic job. But after that, I sort of stepped down from producing. I made a pack for Gen 2 called Monster Field Guide. And then now I've sort of taken a step back from packs, and now I'm working on both Loose Related and Now You Know.
That's so awesome. You know, I came in last year when you were doing Soulful and Saloons, and I remember that being a super exciting time.
No, it was really fun when I was making it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I have heard that there's a couple of awards that KNWT is up for, and you have one in there with one of your packs. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so it's up for an award for the College Media Association. That's sort of a national sort of like organization that sort of recognizes the talents and creations of college media across the country. And I am submitted for the Sub-Minute Entertainment Package series. So for my work with like my Gen 2 pack, Monster Field Guide, where I talk about the lore, design, and ecology of monsters in my favorite game of all time, Monster Hunter World. So I'm really excited to sort of see that like be recognized, because it's like I had so much fun making that.
Yeah, that is so cool. That's honestly, congratulations. That's like epic.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Right. Well, on to another one of your shows, Loosely Related. Can you tell us about your job on that show?
Yeah, so besides being a sort of like general crew member, helping set up and all that, miking and all that, I am the graphics guy for our producer, Katie Lay. The intro graphic you see every week, the lower thirds, that's me. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun because I get to work with one of my favorite programs, Adobe After Effects. Not a lot of people say that, but I think it's great. Where I essentially get free control to do whatever I want with the graphics, as long as people can like see them, and as long as they work. Katie Lay gives me feedback, but as soon as like they're ready and shipped, I give them to her, and it's just a lot of fun. Sort of like getting to like have the creative process be my own.
Yeah, well, that sounds super fun. Your producer, Katie Lay, actually sent in a clip, kind of a sneak peek on next week's show.
Oh, boy.
Do you want to take a look?
Of course.
Let's take a look.
Welcome back to Loosely Related, where we bring in students.
What the freak are you doing in here?
It's my birthday, man.
Get the heck out right now! Get out of here! Go! Welcome back to Loosely Related, where we're bringing students to discuss their birthdays. I'm your host, Cooper Young.
That is such a coincidence, it being my birthday. Oh my gosh, gee. Anyway, away from that, I have one last question, kind of to wrap it up, okay? You have so much experience here. What would you say to anybody who's coming in, who's new to the program?
To anyone who's coming in, as someone with who's pretty tenured here, dip your toes into everything we have here. Attend every training if you can. Talk with producers, talk with other crew members, talk with other shows' crew members, participate fully in your show, go to the live events, do everything you can in your sort of first year, however long you want to spend in KNWT, because that'll sort of help you realize what you want to do down the line, because you have those later years to sort of start formulating what you want to do when you get out of here, what you want to be, and that's sort of the most fun part about it, because you sort of you learn who you are through everything you've done and everything you've had fun with. So just make sure to get out there and try and be a fuller person because of it. But overall, just have fun here.
That is so awesome. Wow. Thank you so much for joining us, Porter, with all of your 4 years of experience coming up, right? That is so amazing. Thank you.
Of course.
All right, y'all. If any of those shows that you saw tonight look interesting to you, make sure to check us out on KNWTTV on YouTube. If you want to get updates on our wonderful shows, you can also check us out on KNWTTV, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Oh, and also TikTok. I've been your host, Tru Bilharz, and you've been watching Late Night with KNWT. Have a great night.